This is Jason Mudd of Cascade Media. And What's Up Kansas City here with Mrs. Tammie Thompson doing our urban professional segment. Hey, Tammie, how you doing today?
Hi, Jason. I'm fine. How are you?
Good, good, good. So I'm glad you finally came on. It took us, about a week or so to finally do this? It's been a while. Took a minute. Man, you busy or I'm busy. You got sick. I got sick, and there was all kinds of stuff going on there for a minute. So anyway, but I'm glad to have you here. So excited about this too. So again, for audience, this is Mrs. Tammie Thompson. I know her from my previous job. So Tammie, tell people about where you're from, how long you've been in Kansas City, things like that.
Absolutely. So originally I'm from Monroe, Louisiana. I've been in Kansas City about 6 years now. My family and I, my husband, I'm actually at a job relocation. So that's how we end up here in the Midwest. I miss home, the South, but we go back home and visit with family quite often. So I get a chance to see them as much as I can. But we've been here in the city for 6 years now. I do love the Midwest, except when it's cold. I don't care for the winters.
Yeah, that's one thing about coming up north. The weather.
Right.
For sure.
I'd rather be inside of the house when it's snowing instead of outside.
Yeah. Well, Midwest here, I like the idea of the change of seasons. It's always been nice to me. When I was a kid, I used to love going outside in the snow and seeing it go from the white snow to the green grass. I love the change of the season. So, but down south has its perks too. So it's warmer down there all the time, nicer weather for the most part. So yeah, humid out here down there.
You do get to enjoy all 4 seasons here. So that's one thing I will say about the Midwest. You don't pretty much get that in the South.
Yeah. Now in the South, I've been up to Atlanta a couple of times, and I would say that the people there truly are very hospitable. Now, it's the same way in your hometown too as well. People are kind of nice and outgoing, ready to give, and be friendly like that.
Absolutely. So Southern hospitality is number one down South. So you'll get that Southern charm, that countryness, but it's always hospitality. So
when you came to the Midwest, what was the first thing you noticed different about being up here in the Midwest versus being down South in Louisiana?
Most definitely the culture. It's really different. So
how so would you say?
The people. The people for certain are. So it took some getting used to. A lot of people, I know when I first came, a lot of people always ask where am I from, because they could catch my accent. So that was always number one thing for most people.
Okay, so now again, you're here because I want to bring you on for urban professionals. So some people, that sign behind you there, what's that sign about?
Beyoutiful boutique. So I am the CEO and owner of a boutique, an online boutique. It's called Beyoutiful Boutique, and I'll just give a quick story. So I grew up in the projects, in a single family home, and my mom, she wasn't able to provide me with the name brand clothes and the fashion that was so popular that most other kids had. So I always was into fashion. So that was one of my dreams to design clothes as a kid. So I know I maybe was probably a freshman in high school maybe. And I designed my first dress and I fell in love with the dress. So it was just something that I always wanted to do. And so I just took that as my passion and ran. And now what I do is I use fashion to inspire others. So the name of my boutique is called Beyoutiful Boutique. And it's basically to inspire us to simply be themselves and love themselves as who they are. I have 2 other projects that are connected with my boutique. One is a nonprofit, and it's called Boots and Arms. With Boots and Arms, I basically unite us as a people to learn to love one another instead of so much jealousy and hate within our communities. So it's more of a peace, love, and unity type of environment. As far as the nonprofit, I do a lot of volunteering work and donating in the community to help organize and unite us as one instead of being divided amongst each other. As far as my other training that I created it's called Yours. and it stands for Young, Optimistic, Unwavering, Rewarding Success Training. And that training was basically created for young adults entering into the career world. I recall as a leaving high school, I had some resources, but I didn't have the resources that I provide within the training to young individuals as far as going into their career world. Someone that's kind of just giving them the ropes of how the career industry is. So we talk about personal branding, network, interview prep, and the follow-up after the interview. We talk about a career awareness. There's a self-assessment test that they can take. And that self-assessment test, it basically gives them kind of an idea of what they like as far as interests, likes and dislikes. We also talk about financial literacy because, again, I wish I would have had someone teach me this information coming out of high school. So that training is specifically for high school students or college students, and just kind of give them that training as far as their careers. Now, what I do each year with my boutique, around December, I take a portion of the funds and I offer one student to write an essay. I mean, it's open to the public, so any high school student, they can write the essay, or they can do a PowerPoint presentation, or however they want to present it. But I give them the opportunity to tell me why, what their goals are, and what the funds could do to help them. And whoever is selected from those entries, I award them with a $250 check. And I do this each year. And those part of the funds come from a portion of my sales from my boutique.
Wow. Okay. So I like how you combine the fashion aspect, looking good with us individuals, also the idea of being professional, thinking beyond just the streets.
Right.
When you're married, looking good, with being professional, you can accomplish a lot. I love that fact what you're doing. This really is a good aspirational thing to have. So when you do your training, exactly, who trains you? Where do you get the idea to, the information you give to your people? Do you get it yourself? Does someone teach you? Do you self-teach? How's that work for you before you give it to your kids?
Absolutely. I am self-taught a lot. A lot of the trainings that I provide to these individuals are from experience that I've actually dealt with myself. I did also graduate from Baker last year, so I do have a degree.
Congratulations.
Thank you. But for the most part, I'm self-taught. So all the training, the knowledge, and the resources that I have, whatever I learn, and whether it's from researching myself or reading books myself or whatever it is, I always give back. And that's always been a goal of mine. So anytime that I learn any type of new information, I always want to share that information with others, whether they know it or not, because I always think we all should keep a teachable spirit, because you learn something each day. So just to be able to share that information with someone that could potentially, I look at our young adults, I look at them as our future leaders. So I most definitely want to encourage them and inspire them in any way that I can. So with whatever information that I have, I always want to share that information and that knowledge with them.
I would say that the kids these days aren't taught the real values was really important in life. They're not taught, for example, you said earlier about not being taught financial literacy. So you're not really taught how to do bookkeeping, balancing your checkbook, credit scores, how it affects your life, things like that, loans, those things you're taught out of high school. And you don't learn those unless you actually go through them. A lot of people will learn them the hard way through life experiences, and so you have to kind of learn it the hard way with your head, and then actually kind of bounce back from that. But what you're doing, helping them learn now before they get into the real world. So when they get there, they're prepared. They look good. They have confidence. They're ready to go. So it's a good thing to do.
Thank you. That's the goal. That's the whole goal. And like you said, getting that information to them now, they have a better start, an early start than most of us adults have now. Because like I said, I wish I would have had someone, and I don't blame my mom, because she taught what she knew. And each day, like I said, you learn something new each day. So being able to provide this information that I know now Like, I mean, had I known it then, I'm pretty sure I would have made some better choices. So that's why I always want to. Exactly. So
yeah,
that's why I want to just make sure I can provide this information to them. So it's awesome for me. It's awesome, and I enjoy doing it.
Gotcha. And the kids you work with, how do you find them? You go online and post on Facebook? Do you go to schools to reach out to the counselors, say, hey, you got kids who are out at risk I can talk to? How do you find your students that you actually teach? What do you find?
Yeah, so I go to my kids' schools. I go to the YMCA, different schools in the community. I also have friends that have children, so I reach out to them. So I know I've done several different trainings. Since the pandemic, most of my trainings have been on Zoom. But prior to the pandemic, I would go to the YMCA, the library, and I did a training at our old job, Synchrony. And I've done several trainings at my oldest daughter school in Bonner. Well, she graduated from Bonner, but when she was a student at Bonner, I did several trainings at Bonner.
Gotcha. Okay, now kind of go back a little bit to your Beyoutiful boutique shop you have there. Talk about what you have, like as far as available products online. What do you sell? What do you have there? You know, what's going on with that shop?
Yeah, so my boutique, again, is to inspire individuals to simply be themselves. I don't just cater to the women. It's a family boutique, so I have men's, women, and kids clothing. I have accessories, have shoes. There's a lingerie collection. So I have a little bit of everything for everyone. You are certainly to find something. So it's just not for the women. I have men's and kids. It's a family boutique.
Gotcha. Okay. Earlier you mentioned something about your pop-up shops you do around town. Mm-hmm. Yep. What do you target to go do that at? Do you go downtown? Do you like go down to Westport? Where do you like to target your area to go to kind of pop up and show everybody what you got?
So I kind of pretty much go all over as far as the pop-up events. I don't even just stay in Kansas or Missouri. I go out of state also and do pop-up. I just actually did one last weekend, and that particular one was downtown. But Westport, Quindera, I've also set up at I do private events too. So like different apartment complex, they will have different events each month, where they will bring in a guest to introduce what their services are. So I do several private events as well. I also go out of town, as mentioned, from state to state and do pop-up events. And that can be sometimes through friends who have different shops, and I'll set up at their shop and I'll just organize. But for the most part, my boutique is online, but I do have that ability to move around. So that's how I end up doing my pop-up events. And I do pretty well with those events.
Good, good, nice. Now you do a lot, it sounds like. So I'm wondering, how do you balance between your businesses and your kids and your husband? I mean, you got to be all over the place. How do you handle all that?
I'm really good with my time. So I make sure I have a calendar, and I try to make sure every time I'm doing something, I write it down and not overbook things. So I'm pretty good with managing my time. I actually took a class on that in college, and it's been really beneficial. It's been really beneficial with this business and the nonprofit and the home. So I wear a lot of different hats, Jason. I won't lie, but I know how to switch them.
There you go. There you go. Yes, that's right. Queen sister. That's right. You know what I'm saying? You handle business properly. And I like that. I like that. Okay.
Right.
Okay.
Right.
Well, again, like I said, it's a pleasure talking to you. I'm glad we finally got to do this. And again, you're, to me, honestly, inspiration. I can see how your kids probably adore you, how they probably admire and respect you, what you do for them. And also, like I said before, I think that you're going places and look forward to talking to you more and maybe the business in the future with you. So with that being said, tell people where they can find your shop at online or things like that. Talk a little bit more about your boots and arms too. Where can they find that too as well, as far as more information?
Absolutely. So I am on Facebook and IG. The name of my shop is called Beyoutiful Boutique 323, and you can find me on both of those, or you can look me up at Tammie Thompson. For if you want to volunteer or donate with Boots and Arms, because I do have a fund set up. With those donations, they go back directly into the community. None of the funds go to me. They go back into the community to help, because we do a lot of volunteering work where we help with the homeless and the elderly and different in the youth, most definitely the youth. So you can email Boots and Arms at bootsandarms@gmail.com for more information about that.
Beautiful, beautiful. And again, I respect what you do. Appreciate it. It's very inspiring, definitely. And again, you out there, sorry, go ahead. Final comment, go ahead.
Thank you.
You're very welcome. We appreciate you coming on again. So again, everybody, this is Tammie Thompson, CEO, owner of Beyoutiful Boutique and Boots and Arms. So definitely look out for her and check her out. And again, this is Jason Mudd, Cascade Media, and I'll leave his parting word. Authenticity is a true currency in life. So keep it real. Thank you for watching. Good night.
The program is brought to you by the Kansas City Business Association.